Well, we have another My Hero Academia episode, and unfortunately, we have a Bakugo episode. What's a Bakugo episode, you ask? Well, it's basically an episode where the sole focus is on Katsuki Bakugo, the character who's one of the main characters in this show, and yeah, pretty much the whole focus was pretty much around him and him actually fighting the guys who he's supposed to be fighting against in this combat training scenario, but I went into this because I was looking on Twitter and I was going into this expecting him just to be the same exact character that we have seen him as since like the first season, the second season. Just basically him not wanting to cooperate with others. And at first, admittedly, that's kind of what it seemed like they were going to do. And then they kind of switched it around and they actually had him develop and change in a meaningful way, and I actually thought that was the best part of the episode. Yeah, strangely enough, not the action, as it was pretty standard for Bakugo, to be completely honest, just to blow up everything and, other characters doing stuff, but we'll actually get to that in a moment. But Bakugo actually decides that he's going to go ahead and cooperate and work with his teammates, which is something that we've never seen him do before. Or not really, in the sense that before he would work with other people, but he would basically be all too headstrong and too prideful to also accept their help and have them do stuff in combat. He would mostly go on by himself and just handle the situation by himself, but in this episode we actually see him decide to go ahead and work with the other teammates, Sato, Sero, and Jito, and they all go ahead and end up helping him along with the situation, and he actually ends up saving one of his teammates as well, which is something that we've never seen him do really at all. He would have just completely forgotten about them and just ignored them and just kept doing what they were doing. But he decided to go ahead and put his trust into them whilst they put their trust into him. And it was actually kind of nice to see. It was something different for the character. It was the most enjoyable thing about this episode, other than the action, which was pretty standard, like I said. And that's kind of it. Like I said, this is basically just the Bakugo episode where he takes the Starlight, because we have characters like Sato. I was complaining about this on one of my alternate Twitter accounts that I use. Just Sato is just one of those characters who has the most basic, blandest personality and quirk in the entirety of the show, and he just doesn't fucking do anything. And nothing more shows that off than in this episode, where his only two uses is to break Bakugo out because Bakugo's still completely fucking incompetent in a lot of scenarios and doesn't realize that they're trying to get him into a specific disadvantage point, and Bakugo ends up getting captured in the episode. Sato's only use at that point is to break him out of it. What does he do after? He fucking captures the guy that Bakugo ended up beating up with his fucking explosive power. That's basically all he does. Sarah, what does he do? Essentially the exact same thing, but he's also restraining a lot of the girl who splits her body apart. I actually forgot her name in the moment of me recording this, but he restrains her body parts because she's able to split up into 50 or so pieces, they said in the episode. And then Jiro is always useful because of her quirk and the way that it works. She's able to hear sounds from distances. But she actually does end up taking the offensive in the episode, which was actually neat to see because she doesn't do that very often. But this was basically just a Bakugo episode, but he actually gets some slight character development and character growth, and I actually like seeing that, and seeing him handle the praises of All Might was interesting to see as well. And then obviously handles the praises from Deku as best as he can, while being himself, which is basically just him saying, yeah, he's gonna keep moving forward, and he's gonna move so fast that Deku's not gonna be able to keep up. They're rivals, but he's not, gonna tell Deku to fucking kill himself again. So that's pretty much the entirety of the episode. The rest of the episode is basically just setting up for what's gonna be happening next week, which is Deku fighting against Shinso. That's the main thing. And, Midoriya is obviously having some complications with One For All because he doesn't understand why he saw the vestiges of the previous One For All wielders. It's very interesting, I guess, in some specific way. I don't know, I just was mostly focusing on the fact that, yeah, this is basically just a Bakugo episode where he takes the Starlight most of the time. and he gets some slight character development, whilst the other characters are just kind of there in the background, helping him for his incompetence. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. That's all I'm just gonna say here. It was fine. Animation was actually different in a couple different ways, and it wasn't bad. Just overall, I think the characters were. I think the characters that Bakugo was working with could have been handled better, but Bakugo was actually substantially changed for the long run. So, or his character growth was changed for the long run. So I think that's good. I think that's enough, I guess. But I would have liked to have seen other characters do stuff, especially the ones that were in Class B. But whatever. That's all I really have to say. I don't really want to talk about this any more than I already have. Maybe if you have something that you want to mention to me on like Twitter or in the comments, go there and they're in the description. You can obviously leave a comment whenever you want. Other than that, be sure to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Make sure to subscribe. I'm out. Peace.